Hello, beautiful people, and namaste. My name is Marilyn, and this is my first yoga philosophy YouTube video. So I am so excited to be diving into more topics like these because, as a lot of you know, this is where my true interests and passions lie, or at least my biggest passions when it comes to yoga and meditation and breath work. So we're going to get into it today. But before we do, please like and subscribe to this channel if you're liking what you're seeing so far. I have a pretty long and growing list of different yoga classes, different styles, different levels, as well as a bunch of meditations and breathwork videos as well. So if you're liking what you're seeing, please share with a friend or family member and subscribe to the channel. Also ring the notification bell so you always get the first update on when the new videos come out, which usually are every Thursday and Sunday, but sometimes there's some bonus videos that come out. So you'll be the first to know if you hit the notification bell. Anyway, I do have a kind of a note list today because if you know me in person, you know I do tend to go off on tangents, and I don't want to make these videos too long with philosophy because it could be really dense and intense. So I want to try to explain it in the best, most relatable way possible. So I have my guidelines today of what we're going to be talking about. But before we get into today's topic, let's take a moment to just pause and ground the energy. So you can sit up nice and tall, feeling free to close the eyes. And as always, if it's better for you to keep the eyes opened, you can do that as well. Maybe a gentle gaze towards the earth. And today we're going to be talking about uplifting discipline and the concept of disciplining ourselves to better our lives. Maybe you were drawn to this video because there is an area of your life where you feel like you need more discipline or more structure. So I invite you to set an intention around that today as we show up here. What areas in your life can you bring a little bit more discipline and more structure to? And of course, in order to enhance your experience here. And bringing it further, we can set a sankalpa and use an affirmation to help us awaken and bring our intentions alive. So you could either silently or say it with me 3 times. I am disciplined. I am disciplined. I am disciplined. And as you're ready, you could begin to open your eyes. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it, but today's topic is it's from Patanjali's philosophy. So we're not gonna get into the history of Patanjali or all of his 8 limbs or even the whole limb of what we're talking about here. But if you're interested in learning more about Patanjali or the 8 limbs of yoga, please comment and letting me know. And then maybe I'll make more videos around this specific philosophy. But Patanjali is a certain yoga philosophy that a lot of yogis follow still to this day. And within that philosophy, there are 8 limbs of yoga that yogis were said to follow in order to reach the highest level of enlightenment that they can possibly reach. So Tapas is what we're talking about today. And that's just one small aspect in this 8-limbed path. Now, tapas is the 3rd niyama, and the niyamas are the 2nd limb of yoga, and the niyamas are basically self-observances, so things that we can do, practices we can do to create a better life within ourselves. So, some of the niyamas are like cleanliness or brahmacharya, which means to do everything in moderation. And again, if you want more about this topic specifically, just leave a comment and I'll make more videos on these. But today we're just focusing on one of the niyamas, which are the observances, which is tapas. So tapas, T-A-P-A-S, translates to uplifting or self-discipline. But I really like to use the word uplifting discipline because if you know me, or even if you relate to me in any way, you probably feel like the word discipline can feel really restrictive and not really fun. And I don't really believe in disciplining ourselves to the point where we're not living our natural way, and we're almost disciplining ourselves in a way that restricts our natural sense of self and our passions and our Dharma, which is our life purpose. But that being said, when you do come from a background of a belief system like me, where you love to play and have a good time and explore and be yourself, we still do need discipline practices in place in order to balance out the energies. You're going to hear me talk a lot about the middle path in these philosophy videos. And to be honest with you, that's what I feel like it all comes down to, just taking the middle path, the middle way. So yes, I believe in having a vibrant, colorful, and expansive life, but we need to have some disciplines in order for ourselves to feel grounded and rooted when we're going through those vibrant times or those more exciting times. So I like the translation uplifting discipline because it's a reminder that these disciplines are going to create a better world within ourselves and ground ourselves to kind of have this launching pad to feel the most vibrant we can. So some things that are pretty obvious when thinking of how to bring in self-discipline or uplifting discipline in your life would be things like creating routines, creating habits that are positive and have positive benefits, and also staying away from anything that kind of brings you down or takes you away from your highest self. So we'll be talking about those three categories today within this idea of tapas. So the first thing I want to talk about is routines. So again, routines, discipline, some of these words, again, feel really restrictive, but it's with these routines and these habits and these disciplines, we can create the best path forward for ourselves to thrive. So the way I like to implement routines into my life is to make them seasonal or even monthly. It's not realistic to create a morning and a night routine and then just say, okay, this is going to be the routine for the rest of my life. On top of that, it's not great to create routines that maybe are more vibrant or they're better for like summer months, but then in the winter you can't really do the same things in the morning. And then sometimes if we create really structured or intense routines, we might set ourselves up for failure and just kind of feel bad about ourselves if we didn't check every little box on the routine. And lastly, we do need some room for spirit. So as much as, yes, I do believe in morning and night routines, I don't think we have to make them so intense and structured, and they're not like a, forever signed contract. Like we could change the routines, we should change the routines often, and I'm a big believer in seasonal practices. So understanding how the season you're in is affecting your inner world, and then how to create routines morning and night, and really whenever you need the routine to be in place, but how to create those routines based on the season. So for instance, you might have more sun where you are in the mornings. It might be warmer in the mornings in certain seasons. So maybe you like to implement like a morning walk, but then let's say in a different season, it's still dark at that time and it's really cold out and you don't feel like that would be nourishing for you. So then maybe you don't do the morning walk in that season. I am not going to tell you, step by step what you need to do for your morning routine or your night routine, because to be honest with you, everyone's going to be so different and unique. And my morning routine really won't do you any benefit because you need to figure out what really works for you. But I will share some practices I do and then some suggestions I think that are great for the morning, for the night. And again, if you're interested in more seasonal videos or videos on how to create routines based on each season, leave a message in the comments and I can make those videos for you too. But what I'll invite you to think about when it comes to creating routines is thinking about, if you're watching this video right now, thinking about how it's turning into fall where we live I'm in New York. So I don't know where you are, but we are switching seasons currently. And with that being said, a lot of different energy is around us, and weather changes pretty drastically in the fall. The morning also gets longer, so we have more daylight in the morning. So what's available now that the season has changed? Also, maybe you're back in a different routine that fall just came. Maybe you're a teacher, so your morning routine starts earlier. Maybe you have kids and they're back at school, so your morning routine starts later. So again, morning routines, night routines are going to be very unique for you. Some practices I suggest are not anything so specific, but to, if you're going to create a morning routine for September or for the whole fall, then try to do the same things in the same order every day, because your body and your mind really enjoy familiarity. And when you do familiar things, it can really reduce stress and tension and help you thrive for the rest of your day. So some examples of what I do in the morning in the fall is that I like to wake up early, around 6 a.m. And then the first thing I do is I just started a fall Ayurvedic morning routine in addition to what I already do in the morning. So I do tongue scraping, which just gets any kind of, excess, it's called ama, off of my tongue, out of the body. I do a Ayurvedic oil massage, and then I get to take a shower. Then it really depends on the day, because I start my day different times each day, but sometimes I'll do a morning walk or get some movement in. Then I drink water, I get ready, I make coffee, and then I pretty much head out. While I head out to work, I like to listen to my favorite mantra, which I think helps really brighten my day and gets me excited for the day. And like I said, then I start the day. It's pretty simple, and it's things I like to do, and what I have noticed makes me feel better throughout my day. Again, if you want more on the Ayurvedic practices or anything like that, just leave a comment and I'll add to that. But what I'm trying to get out here is that your morning routine will be unique to you. And I don't have kids or a really early place to be. So for me, I have the luxury of taking the time to do the Ayurveda massage and start my morning a little slower. So again, you might have to bring your routines into the time frame that works for you, but any routine, any pattern is going to be effective. And then the same thing at night, even if it's 15 minutes of skincare, short meditation, and some stretching before bed, that's going to be a win. So definitely get those routines in place. Think about it seasonally. Think about some simple things that just feel good. It doesn't have to be this huge luxurious thing. It doesn't have to be like a 45-minute workout and then a run and then, waking up at 5 a.m. and journaling. It doesn't have to be that. So make sure you just, whatever you do gives you enough time to feel kind of full to start or to end your day. So the next thing I wanted to mention when it comes to how we can bring uplifting discipline practices into our lives are to stay away from things and people that don't make you feel your best. So anybody that kind of distracts you from your work or your interests or hobbies, or anything that just, like a certain food that makes you feel heavy after you eat it, or a certain habit that, kind of makes you feel tired or off. These are things we want to be conscious of, because sometimes things feel really good, like eating a slice of pizza right in the middle of the day. You might think, ooh, I really just want an easy lunch. I'll go get a slice of pizza. It'll be great. But for me, and this is very personal for me. If I eat anything like heavy in the middle of the day, I get really sluggish. And then for me, I have to go back to work later, usually at night. So it's hard for me then to get the second wind and get the energy. And that could be anything, right? It could be that second cup of coffee. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe you do. But you just have to be conscious of kind of what we're inviting in to our atmosphere, our very direct atmosphere, right? Just right around us, because sometimes these habits or these things that take us away from peace or from our more thriving self can really put a wedge in feeling good and feeling vibrant. So again, paying attention to what makes you feel certain ways, because sometimes we eat quickly and unconsciously and then we feel sluggish and then we're not really even putting the two and two together. It could be the same thing about like who you talk to on the phone or who you talk to just in everyday life. So creating boundaries if you feel like your energy is depleting a little bit with friends or family or whoever you feel like, again, takes you away from that discipline. So just being conscious of that. And then lastly with that, thinking about even just the type of shows and podcasts and things we are consuming, books we're reading, things on the phone, right? So like social media. But if things that you're seeing and you're bringing into your field are making you feel not great or kind of, again, sluggish or down or even sad, you really want to moderate or monitor, really more so monitor what's coming into your consciousness, because in a lot of ways we can control that, or at least set boundaries so it's not too much in our face. And like, I'm not saying social media is the devil or eating a slice of pizza is the worst thing in the world, but you just got to pay attention. Is it effective? Is it beneficial? Is it bringing you to your highest self, or does it bring you, it might feel great in the moment, but does it ultimately bring you to your higher self, or do you feel like then you have to take a few steps back and start all over? So that's kind of what Tapas reminds us is it's like those uplifting disciplines of, okay, even though this is a habit, it's easy to doom scroll on Instagram. It doesn't make me feel good. So I'm going to have the uplifting discipline to refrain from that activity. And then now that I refrain from it, I feel better. And now it's going to be easier to refrain from it because I'm going to continue to choose being uplifted. Next and final way we could practice tapas in our lives are develop positive habits and interests that create positive results within ourselves. And this, of course, is anything like exercise or reading books or creating or doing things that just excite you, that fill your cup, that bring you closer to your purpose, your passions, and just light you up. And this can be on the contrary to what I just said. This could be now you're eating food that makes you feel vibrant, makes you feel energized. You're talking to someone that the conversation feels really inspiring, or you're watching things that are mind-blowing or artful or creative. Like I said, the middle path is the way. Sometimes social media could be beneficial in the sense where someone might be really inspiring on it and it'll help you maybe put the fire that you need to, give out what you want to give out to the world based on being inspired. So finding if you are going to be exposed, right, to TV and to books and to food, let's expose ourselves to good stuff for us. And again, there's no right or wrong answer. Running for someone might be positive and then someone else it might suck. So we have to remember too to be able to discern what feels good in ourselves. And it doesn't matter what society says about it. Like, look, I have a lot going on right now in my life in the sense it's positive. I'm doing a lot of real work. I'm in a master's program, but I'm also working full time and, creating a business and doing this YouTube channel and doing all these things. And I found out recently that what really helps me relax and kind of, chill out at the end of the day is taking a long walk and listening to a murder, true crime podcast. So, most people would say, oh, well, that kind of stuff is negative and whatever, but it's not the case. Like if that's something that you're interested in naturally and you like it, it could be positive because it helps you wind down. So all I'm saying is you have to learn how to discern, not based on what society says, but what feels good for you and how you know what it's resetting. And of course, everything in moderation, which is another niyama. You know, you don't want to overdose on murder podcasts and true crime, because then that can go, you know, totally in a different direction. But again, here and there, everything in moderation, it's always going to work out. So like I said, third and final tip for tapas, for uplifting discipline in your life, bringing it in, is to find those habits and passions that really light you up and that are true to you and that give you inspiration to keep sharing your gift with the world. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are interested in these topics and philosophy, because I do plan on sharing a few of these videos a month. And please let me know in the comments any other yoga philosophy or anything else you'd like to learn in these longer talking videos. I will see you in the next video, so I hope you have a beautiful day or night wherever you are. And again, thanks for watching. Namaste.